Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to part 2 of my story series. Oh yeah! This series is all about me sharing my story with you. Oh yes, there is quite a number of things that happened, guys, in the past. Things that have happened in my life, things that have shaped me into becoming the person that I am, things that have contributed in a significant way in my life. And I thought, alright, again, why not share some of this with you? Why not share some of the lessons that I've learned along the way? Why not share this with you so that you get to know me better, and also connect with me on a deeper level, on a different level, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you haven't watched part 1 of my story, please go back and watch it because this is like a chain. Part 2 is a continuation of part 1, and you wouldn't be able to follow along if you miss part 1. So make sure that you watch part 1 and then continue to part 2. Alrighty, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Yeah, so in part 1, I told you guys about my upbringing, my experiences in high school, and how I got to pass my matric with flying colors. Right, and then I got an acceptance letter from WITS University offering me a place to study a degree in biological sciences. So I did a Bachelor of Science degree in biological sciences and later on majored in microbiology and biochemistry. Sharp. So this girl from the dusty streets of Kwakwa went to Joburg to pursue her degree. Hey, you can just imagine how excited I was. Couldn't get excited, guys. I was nervous. Yeah, I think I need to mention that I was nervous, but at the same time I was also excited to be, independent and all that. And I think one other thing that added to my excitement was the fact that my teachers had told us that when we get to varsity, things will be smooth. Like, they used to encourage us to study hard and like during our high school days, to study hard, make sure that we get good grades, and then when we get to varsity, we'll have all the time in the world to do anything, and we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to that experience. That's why I was so excited. But anyways, yeah, and then I'll say my university experience was very interesting, especially my first year experience. First of all, I had to adjust to the new environment, and I also had to adapt to the new way of doing things. And as I was still trying to find my feet, I also had to attend lectures, and I found them a bit challenging because of 2 reasons. 1, the pace, and 2, accents, language. Let me start with the first one, pace. Things were moving so fast. I feel like things were moving as speed train, guys. 180 kilometers per hour. Yeah, everything was just moving so fast, and I was not used to that way of learning, that way of teaching. And hey man, for example, 5 chapters of a book will be covered in 1 hour of a lecture, whereas back in high school, 5 chapters will be covered in a week or 2, So work started piling up, and I was barely coping. I was drowning. Yeah, and the second thing that made it challenging was the accent, guys. Pelana, I attended a public school, a government school, where I was taught by black teachers, and some of you might know this. Our teachers used to try so hard to make sure that we understand, and sometimes if a concept is difficult for the learners to grasp, they'll use our language, our mother tongue, to try and explain it to us so that we get it. So we were used to that way of teaching, but now you get to varsity, everything English, English, English. And not just English, like, English, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And personally, because I was not used to that, I struggled. Guys, I struggled. Sometimes I would miss what the lecturer was saying because of the manner in which they were presenting the content. Sometimes they would crack a joke, but I wouldn't even get it because of the accent. And then you look around, people are laughing. How to know now why they're laughing? So guys, it was hard. Look, it was hard. I honestly didn't enjoy attending lectures. I hated it. I didn't like it at all. But I had to attend because again, I went there to study. So yeah, like I said, everything was moving so fast. And before we knew it, it was time for tests. That time you still have a lot of things to catch up on. You still have a lot of content to cover. But now you have to write tests. Good, guys, Varsity was something else. I mean, I could talk about a whole lot of other things, but I just want to focus on this particular one. Still in first year, 2013. Miguel was not coping. And it so happened I failed a test. For the first time in my life, I failed a test. And I remember I cried because they used to post our results on the notice board, and you would go there, look for your student number, and then check your percentage. Less than 50% failed. Oh, went back to my room, cried. And I cried because it had never happened before. I had never failed before. So it really crushed my self-esteem. It crushed my confidence, and I started doubting myself. I started doubting my abilities and capabilities, you know. And also, Angeli, you are known as this girl who is hardworking and smart, and you get there, and life was like, oh, you think you're smart when I will show you, boom, fail. Yeah. So for the first time in my life, I failed a test, and it really crushed me. And the module was chemistry 1012. Basically, I respect that module. Respect. Chemistry 1012 showed me flames. So I failed the test, and I also failed the exam, the June exam. And after getting my exam results, I got a letter from the dean of science, basically saying that, hey, we have realized that your performance is very low, and now we're gonna give you two options. Things cannot continue this way. Clearly you're not coping. We will give you two options. Option number one is that you deregister the module, and then you come back next year. So you deregister the module, and then you basically go home and chill, then come back next year to continue with the module. So this was my major, and I wouldn't be able to go to second year without passing this module. So I really had to pass. Yeah, so option one was that you either deregister the module, and then we'll give you your money for second semester. Then you can come back next year, you know, and start from scratch. The second option was that I can continue with the second semester module, but then that came with a condition, and the condition was that I have to pass the test. I have to pass the test, and if I fail it, if I fail the test, then they, as the faculty, will automatically deregister me, and I wouldn't even get a cent. So I'll be forced to come back the following year to start from scratch. Oh, Mugeli. Guys, we're thinking, I think I went through the most during that period. Yo, and I remember, I don't think I told anyone at home. I didn't tell my mom, I didn't tell my sisters, I didn't tell any of my friends or teachers. I just kept it to myself. So the only person that I told was my roommate, who is now my friend. We were roommates at that time, Bumi, and a few of other friends that I had at Wits. So those are the only people that I told. And I remember that day I went back to my room. I told my former roommate Mpumi, with your girl, I could have kunzima. I failed my exam, and now here's this letter from the dean with these options, And then I don't know if she told me immediately or if she suggested this the day after. I can't remember. But then she actually came up with a suggestion. Just like, let's pray about it. Let's pray about it, and we can actually dedicate a day to fast. And in my mind I was like, a prayer. Will it really solve my problems? Will it take my problems away? But because I was desperate, and I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. Basically, anything, I'm just a desperate kid, so anything, let's do it. And we did dedicate a day to pray and fast, and I actually fasted for the first time in my life. I had never fasted before, never ever fasted before. So we did it, and while we were still praying, I was also studying. So I was not just praying and relaxing, waiting for a miracle to happen. I was also doing my part, and I got help from other people as well. And I remember KG was also helping me, my friend KG, yay! He used to spend extra hours with me, walking me through the module, and we would practice question papers together. He really helped me a lot. So yeah, so I was praying and studying at the same time. Came the time when I had to write test number 3. Yo! Go! Yo, super nervous. Bona. Pela, it was a do or die type of situation. Or it's either you pass or you fail. Based on the outcome, your fate will be determined. I wrote the test, and long story short, I passed. Hallelujah. I passed my test, and I passed really well, actually. I passed really well. And the first thing that came to mind was, so, and like this God thing really works, eh? It does work. And I was like, sure, Mpumi, I also wanna serve the God that you're serving. I wanna worship the God that you're worshiping, because clearly He performs miracles. And that's when my relationship with God was established. So that experience really opened my eyes. It really showed me that God can perform miracles, guys. Like, God can do wonders if we trust and believe in Him. And He can use any situations to turn our eyes towards Him. He can use anything. Some of the situations or the experiences are very challenging. They are very painful, but God can use them in order to teach us certain lessons in life and also draw us closer to Him. And that was a very powerful experience that I went through. Even though it was tough, even though it was difficult, I felt that there was a reason why I had to go through it. If it wasn't for the support that I received from my friends, if it wasn't for God coming through for me, I don't know what would have happened. I think I would have been academically excluded, because there were so many people getting excluded. I remember when we first started, the chemistry class used to be so full. Like, the lecture hall would be packed. But then as time went by, it got empty and empty and empty, because some were being financially excluded, some were being academically excluded. There was just a whole lot of things going on, and I would have been one of them. Trust you me, there is no doubt I would have been one of them. And I really thank God that I made it. So the experience really opened my eyes. One, I realized that I was not well equipped. I was not prepared enough to face the challenges that came with being at varsity. The only thing that I knew or that I expected was the fact that I'm going to cruise, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be lovely. Roses, sunshine, and I don't know. It was the opposite. So I was not ready for that. So I felt like if I had been better equipped, then I would have done better. But at the same time, I'm grateful for the experience because I got to know God. I got to see that God does live and God is powerful. I got to see God's hand in my work and how He came through for me when I felt like my life was shattered. How He sent the right people into my life and how they helped me in dealing with the storm that I was experiencing at that time. And in the last video, I mentioned that I feel like God has been strategically placing people into my life for a reason, to help me, to lift me up and help me in this journey of life. When I first got to WITS, so as a first year, you have to share a room with someone. And initially, I had a roommate from Northwest, and we got along, man. But after a couple of weeks, she had to move out because of financial difficulties. And then after a couple of days, I got a new roommate, and that was Mpomi. So, guys, when you think about it, this was a God at work. He was like, Wena, you're going to need this one. So this one has to go so that she can make way or space for this one, whom you're going to need at some point. And she came, yeah, now we got along, got it from day one. And vibing together. And we became really close. We became really, really good friends. And I feel like that was all God's work. That was all God's work. So, guys, once again, all I can say is that I am where I am today because of other people who have been in my life for a reason, and it would be wrong for me not to say thank you to everyone who has been playing a significant role in my life. When they say no man is an island, it is so true. It is so very true. We need people in our lives. Yeah, you cannot do it all. You cannot do it all by yourself. You need other people. Yeah, so that was my hectic first year experience. It was tough. When they say WITS gives you the edge, I experienced that edge. I really did. But I'm grateful for the experience because it has come up with so many lessons and growth as well, And it has also opened up my heart to help others and be the light that I wish I had when I was transitioning from high school to varsity. So yeah, I guess every experience comes with a lesson and a bit of growth as well. So yes, that's part 2 of my story. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, or please comment in the section below, and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much. Until next time, please keep well, keep safe, and keep healthy.